My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Extraction 2. And this is a movie I was really excited for because the first Extraction is far better than it gets credit for. It's incredibly well directed with fantastic action, and Chris Hemsworth is also really great in it. So I went into this movie hoping to at least like it as much as the original, and thankfully it's even better. And let's just get to it. The action is phenomenal. Like, no joke, this is some of the best action I've ever seen in a movie. I was just blown away. It is truly some breathtaking stuff, and they always fight in interesting places. Like, there was a 1 minute section where he's fighting a bunch of guys at a gym and he's using all the different machines and weight sale, and I was just like, oh. And then 5 seconds later, oh my goodness. And I kept doing that the entire time. And then you've also got this great fight on a glass ceiling, which was really intense. But the standout moment, if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm going to say, and it's a one shot. There's been lots of movies that have had one shot sequences, and this is among the best. Like, if you want to talk about inventive, hard hitting filmmaking, like, this is what we go here. Like, I don't know how long it was. My guess is 25 to 30 minutes, maybe a bit shorter, I'm not entirely sure. But we go from a prison escape to a one on one fight to a prison riot to a chase to a train to a helicopter attacking that train to that train being invaded. And it's just relentless, it's non-stop. What the transition between each action scene to the next is literally seamless. And I was just watching it like, how are they still going? Like, it starts off incredible and they only keep topping it from there. Like, it is just, that stretch of time is masterful filmmaking. And I've said for years that Sam Hargraves would have been my pick to direct the Uncharted movie. And that section on the train had elements that completely reminded me of Uncharted 2, and it made me very happy. And even though he's only made 2 movies so far, I'm saying with confidence, he is one of the best action directors ever. I love how he's pushing the genre forward and just how he's always trying new and inventive stuff, and the fight choreography is great. I love how he mixes it up between hand-to-hand combat and guns. That way it doesn't feel stale, it's constantly feeling fresh. And even the last act of this movie, I was like, how are they going to top the other 2 acts? And he doesn't even try. Instead, he relies on pure brutality, and man, is it effective. So, just from a filmmaking perspective, this movie is incredibly well made, and from an action standpoint, it's got some of the best action I've seen ever. And yes, you could be like, oh, well, it's only 2 long scenes. Yeah, you might be right, but they're 2 flawless sections of a movie. And Chris Hemsworth, he's really doing great work here. He's just getting wasted in the MCU, and I would like to see him do more movies like this. I know he's in Furiosa next year, which I can't wait for, but he carries this movie incredibly well. He does all the action flawlessly, and he even shows some emotional range. So, just blown away by him here, really. But I also loved Go Shifty Farahani. I probably mispronounced her name. I thought she was great as well. She's a complete badass and she really excels in this movie. You've got Adam Bisa, who was fine. Um, Yeah, some of his line delivery isn't the best, but he was fine, and everyone else in the cast did fine enough. Uh, then we get to the Rico elements of this movie, and it is a story, but I would say, like, as long as I'm engaged enough, then I don't really care. I go to an action movie for the action. I think Mission Impossible 4, 5, and 6 are all excellent. And if you ask me what the story of Mission Impossible 4 is, I would say he's been disavowed, he's on the run, and he's after this one dude who's trying to blow up something. Like, the movie's still great. I love it. It is engaging when you're watching it. You're on the edge of your seat. The action is incredible, but the story isn't the standout. And though elements of the story I like here, well, it goes a bit more personal for Tyler. There's some genuine emotion in this movie. And there was one kid character who was frustrating, but I kind of liked everything going on with him. But there are still moments of the story where it really dragged, where it grows stale, and everything with the villain I could not care less. He is the typical cliche generic villain, and there's nothing about him that stands out. I also do think this movie is a bit too long. I feel like you could have shortened it up to 20-25 minutes. So, despite some issues with the script, I just loved this movie. The action here is phenomenal. Not just good, I wouldn't even say just great. Flawless. The one-shot sequence is an all-timer, and the action sequence in the second half and the way that scene progresses in the gym and everything was just flawless as well. And you know what? That's enough for me. Like, it is. I got some incredible action set pieces. You got yourself a great main character. And I'm good. So, I'm going to go ahead and give Extraction 2 a 7.5 out of 10. So, between this movie, John Wick Chapter 4, which I like, just not as much as everyone else, and soon to be Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, 2023 is just going to be a killer year for action movies, so that's great. But have you seen Extraction 2? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos soon, and Gavin, out.